Every once in a while, hip-hop gives us a story that feels bigger than music. A story that's part legend, part tragedy, and part cautionary tale. Young Thug, one of the most creative, unpredictable, and influential rappers of the last decade, is now at the center of one of the biggest criminal cases in rap history. From trendsetter to empire builder, from superstar to inmate. Today, we're going deep into the rise, the empire, the chaos, and the downfall of Young Thug, and why it just keeps getting worse. Let's rewind to the beginning. Jeffrey Lamar Williams, better known as Young Thug, grew up in the Jonesboro South Projects in Atlanta. Life wasn't easy. Poverty, violence, and survival shaped his world from an early age. But even back then, Jeffrey was different. Where other kids blended in, Thug stood out. His voice, his style, his energy, nothing about him fit the mold. When he started rapping, people didn't know what to make of it. His voice cracked, squealed, bent in ways rap hadn't heard before, but underneath the eccentric delivery was something undeniable. Raw talent. By 2013, tracks like Stoner and Danny Glover were bubbling in Atlanta's clubs. Then came Lifestyle with Rich Gang, a record so wild and catchy it became an anthem. To some, he sounded too weird to ever blow up. To others, he was the future. But no one could ignore him. Thug wasn't just making songs, he was shifting the sound of an entire generation. As Thug's fame grew, he didn't just build a career, he built an empire. YSL, Young Stoner Life, became more than a label. It was a crew, a family, a movement. He signed artists like Gunna, Lil Duke, and Lil Keed, grooming them into stars. To fans, YSL was about music, vibes, and culture. A green snake logo, a lifestyle. But to Atlanta law enforcement, it was something else. They claimed YSL wasn't just a label, it was a gang. But in the moment, YSL felt unstoppable. Their music dominated playlists. Gunna and Thug were shaping the sound of rap itself. The empire looked untouchable. In May 2022, everything came crashing down. Young Thug, Gunna, and 26 others were indicted in a sweeping RICO case. Prosecutors accused them of running YSL as a criminal street gang, with Thug painted as the leader. The charges? Conspiracy to commit murder, armed robber drug trafficking, and shocking prosecutors even pointed to his lyrics as evidence. Songs like Pushin' P and Slimestein were no longer just music, they were treated like confessions. Overnight, the empire wasn't just shaken, it was under attack. In May 2022, everything came crashing down. Young Thug, Gunna, and 26 others were indicted in a sweeping RICO case. Prosecutors accused them of running YSL as a criminal street gang, with Thug painted as the leader. The charges: conspiracy to commit murder, armed robbery, drug trafficking, and shockingly, prosecutors even pointed to his lyrics as evidence. Songs like Pushin' P and Slime Sherry were no longer just music. They were treated like confessions. Overnight, the empire wasn't just shaken, it was under attack. What followed was one of the wildest trials hip-hop has ever seen. Jurors kept dropping, lawyers argued non-stop, witnesses refused to testify. Then came the plea deals. Gunna shocked the world with an Alford plea, a deal that let him walk free while still insisting he wasn't guilty. But in the court of public opinion, the snitch label stuck instantly. Other YSL members took pleas too. Suddenly, the loyalty that once defined the crew started to unravel. And through it all, Young Thug sat in jail, denied bond again and again, watching his empire collapse from behind bars. Even locked up, Thug's influence didn't stop. In 2023, he dropped Business is Business, an album packed with features from Drake, Future, Travis Scott, and more. It was a reminder, the industry still believed in him. But instead of celebration, every lyric was dissected in courtrooms. Prosecutors tried to spin his art into evidence. Meanwhile, Gunna released his comeback album, A Gift and a Curse. The music was fire, But the shadow of the trial loomed over every song. What was once one of the most powerful labels in hip-hop was now defined by chaos and suspicion. The rap world didn't know how to respond. Drake, Metro Boomin, and others screamed, "Free Thug" at shows. But other artists stayed quiet, not wanting to get tied into the drama. Brands backed away. Festivals replaced his name with other headliners. Even fans were split. Was Thug a victim of a broken system, or proof that the streets always catch up? The unity that once made YSL a force was gone. Beyond the case, this downfall shook the culture. For years, rap blurred the line between art and reality. Lyrics about the streets weren't just rhymes, they were often real life. But the YSL trial raised the stakes. Now, rappers wondered, will my lyrics be used against me? Should I stop rapping about my life? The Young Thug case wasn't just about one man. It was about how hip-hop itself is treated in the eyes of the law. What makes this downfall so brutal is that it isn't slowing down. Delays keep dragging the trial out. More witnesses flip. More embarrassing courtroom clips go viral. Every headline feels like another nail in the coffin. And while Thug's legacy as a pioneer is untouchable, his empire, the label, the business, the movement keeps crumbling with each passing day. Every era of hip-hop has its tragedy. Tupac and Biggie DMX, XXX Tentacion. And now we're watching the tragedy of Young Thug unfold in real time. On one side, he's Jeffrey Lamar Williams, a visionary who redefined rap, built stars, and inspired millions. On the other, he's Young Thug, accused gang leader, fighting for his life in court. The truth may be complicated, but one thing is clear: his downfall keeps getting worse. And even if the case ends tomorrow, the scars on his legacy will last forever. Because no matter what happens next, Young Thug already changed the game, and that will always be remembered. This has been the story of Young Thug's downfall. What do you think? Is he being unfairly targeted, or is this the cost of living both lives? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives like this, hit subscribe and stay locked in.